Let's talk about decisions. Some are good and some are bad. Some are stupid and some are mad. And being someone who is super impulsive, I made some decisions on this trip which my boyfriend hates me for now. Well, going on this trip at such a last minute was one of them. However, my second day at Banff basically started with making some random decisions that I might regret now.
This is one of the most difficult hikes I've ever done.
Moving on. My second day started super early, like super early.
Good morning from day 2 in Banff. Today we are going to Lake Louise and going to do a lot around Lake Louise. So I will show you all around that. We are here to grab a coffee from a place called White Haven something cafe. 6:30. I was aiming to leave at like 6ish, so we get there before a lot of crowd does. Doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So we are grabbing some coffee, soaking in the Banff downtown views because this is such a cute little village town. I don't know what to say, but this is a really nice place. But okay, let me show you Banff town. I just like missed a step. So don't skip ahead, subscribe to my channel if you're here because I'm going to show you all about Banff in detail. So we are not cramping everything up in one video, we are doing video series and we are going to have a lot of fun.
As we were leaving towards Lake Louise, we saw that the Banff town sign was empty, which is not usual, so we had to stop.
One thing you should not miss taking a picture of is the Banff sign. This is like as soon as you enter Banff town, you get this sign and there's a parking right across the street. In there, this is the Banff Visitor Center and in there is the parking. So that's where we parked and that's where you get Banff sign. And let's take some pictures. Oh, parking full. We just sneaked in. Let's see if we can find someone who's leaving because this parking is already full. It's not even 8. So yeah, this is what happens when you get late here. But hopefully someone will leave and we will find a spot. These two cars have literally jacked this spot, which this guy, he pushed it in.
And I had to literally squeeze myself between the cars to get out.
Pre-hike snack. We are having a pizza before we start. If you plan to come here to Lake Louise, A, come early. B, there is parking but it's limited. And C, pack layers. I'm wearing a fleece. I have my jacket on me. The weather changes like this. And to get to Lake Louise, you can get Rome Transit or you can bring your car or you can get private tours booked for Lake Louise. This is Fairmont Chateau. This is like the parking and the transit area and there's a really nice washroom. New news, but Discovery Pass does not include parking at Lake Louise. That is so sad, I guess. So we have to pay for it. It's $21 per vehicle per day. But I know one thing for sure that after 7:30 you don't have to pay for parking here. Parking's free.
But let's get going and welcome to Lake Louise. Beautiful, isn't it? However, at this point, I was rethinking whether my decision to come here was right or not. Well, because the crowd was insane. But you'll see later that this was actually not a bad decision.
And that is Lake Louise. It's beautiful, but it's obviously crowded. If you are wanting to come here without the crowds, either come in shoulder season or come like super early.
If you are searching about Lake Louise, then you would obviously know that canoeing on this lake is the number one thing people want to do. It is like a bucket list activity, and that is why the queue over here starts even before they open.
Okay, so operating hours 8:30 to 8. Canoe rental price is $145 for 30 minutes, $155 plus GST for 1 hour.
That is $10 more than what you would pay at Moraine Lake, but split between 3 people, I think it's a fair price.
We will rent the canoe, but later on, because first we want to do the Beehive Trail.
Yeah, well, that did not happen. If you don't want to do the big hikes like Lake Agnes or Big Beehive, the Lakeshore Trail is pretty good. It's a boated walk and you can walk around the lake. I did not go much further, but it is beautiful, and the further ahead you go, the less number of people you have, so you can actually have a little spot to yourself which is not obstructed by 10-15 people at the same time.
I can't believe how amazing this looks. So Little Beehive starts from here. You have to take the Lake Agnes Teahouse trail and go up all the way to Lake Agnes and then go further up to Little or Big Beehive. A lot of people go to Lake Agnes, but I don't know if that many people would go to Beehive. So let's see. This is a super steep trail. Like as soon as it begins, it goes straight up. So be prepared for it if you're doing it. And that's the first clear viewpoint of Lake Louise. A lot of people love to go on this hike, so you will find company. But let me show you what I'm seeing. Oh my god, that is so beautiful.
Sorry.
It's okay, go ahead. Okay, when I was looking at videos of Lake Louise and this trail, I could not understand why people were so fascinated with that view. But now that I look at it myself, I can understand, because it's the first view of the lake and you realize how beautiful it is. Like, this is where you see the actual color. And we've just reached our first lake on the way, which is Mirror Lake. I'll just take a minute over here, take some rest and admire this view.
And yep, you see that mountain over there? That is Big Beehive, and we were supposed to climb that. Looking at that mountain, I was thinking, what have I got myself into?
अच्छा वो है Big Beehive. वहाँ पे लोग हैं बिल्कुल टॉप पे.
And this is when he realized what I have got him into. But we had to keep going, right? The scenery, however, kept changing from this point. We could see the mountains and the valley beneath us. And although my legs were screaming with that steep climb, but looking at that view made me feel so comforting and so relaxed. And yeah, we did meet some people on horse tour. How cool is that? I think Fairmont Lake Louise runs horse tours in this area, but I don't think you can go all the way up to Lake Agnes.
And we just reached Lake Agnes. This is the tea house. Wow, this is Lake Agnes. Oh my god, it is beautiful. Okay, so we got recommendation from someone that Big Beehive is definitely worth it. It's a little more difficult than Little Beehive, but the view is really good. That's what we got to know. So we have decided to do Big Beehive, and it's 1.6 kilometers further up the hill, and take your trash with you like we are doing. We are going there, then straight up, and then over that mountain. Wow, okay. Now the hard section begins. Okay, this is officially one of the most tiring hikes I've done even in my life. The path is not maintained. It's loose rocks and it's steep, so 100% ensure you're wearing good boots like these. We are at top of the ridge, and now we have to go to the other side of the mountain for the viewpoint. Oh my god, this is difficult. My GoPro's battery shut down, so I'm recording with my iPhone, and we are almost there. I'm so proud of us that we did it, because it was super difficult.
Once you get on top of the ridge, it's not the end. The more I thought that we are just there, the further ahead it was. You basically have to cross all of the ridge to go to the other end to see the viewpoint.
We finally made it to Big Beehive, and look at that. I mean, what a view is that? I'm mind blown. This is amazing. mind is blown. It's so beautiful.
On my way up, and until I reached this point, I was pretty sure that this was not a good decision because I was already short on time and I could have actually done something else instead of doing this hike. And I was thinking that if the views are not great, my boyfriend is not gonna like this, and I would also be very disappointed. And then I reached here, I took one look at that lake, and then I was like, nope, this is the perfect decision to make because there is no other place like this I have seen ever in my life. And over here, I also thought that, some last minute decisions and some random baseless decisions are actually good at the end. Oh, and do you know why this lake is so blue? It is something called glacial wash, where rocks in the form of very small particles are fed into the lake from glaciers and the sunlight gets refracted from the surface, giving it this color. I just felt so lucky over here to witness this beautiful place in person. But yeah, wait, we are not done yet.
20 minutes later, we are back down. And I was not recording that time because I was focusing on coming down and making sure that I don't slip. We got hungry, so we got tuna sandwich, which is finished now. Last bite happening. And mountain bar. I actually don't mind this tuna sandwich. It's better than what we drank. The drinks are maybe not as great, but I love this. This is so good.
And finally, 1.5 hours later, we reached the base of Lake Louise, dipped our feet in the icy cold water, and looked at that view. But because it was beautiful, I could not just leave without taking a last look at it. In total, the whole hike is about 10.5 kilometers with a lot of switchbacks and steep sections. It took us about 5 hours to do the whole thing, including rest stops and photos. I would consider this as a challenging hike for those who are not into hiking, but if you are a regular hiker, this is a moderate trail. And remember, we had also planned that we will canoe in here after we finish the hike? Well, no, that did not happen. So if you want to canoe, do it first thing in the morning, and around this time, around afternoonish, the queue was super long.
Now we are super tired, super tired. So we are going back to our hostel, going to take a shower and then rest up a little bit and then see if we want to do anything or not. But it was a tiring day. So if you're doing this hike, make sure you don't have anything else planned for the day because you will be dead by the time you end it.
That time at Lake Louise, I was thinking that maybe I am making multiple bad decisions, but no, they were at the end all perfect, all right. It was all meant to be. And while I'm making this video and looking back at those memories, I feel like I couldn't have done a better trip than this because Banff is a place which will make you speechless. Banff has my heart. So if you're planning a trip to Banff and you found this video useful, do hit the sub and give me a like. I would really appreciate it. And if you are planning a trip to Banff, put it in the comment section below. If you have any questions as well, let me know. But there's more to this place, so I will share more about it next week. Until then, bye-bye.